This is Inside the Pizza Oven, the podcast that explores the best, most innovative, and relevant pizzerias and restaurateurs in America. Now here's your host, Fredi the Pizza Man, Fredi Bello.
What's up, everyone? Welcome in to the Inside the Pizza Oven podcast. I am Fredi the Pizza Man. Hope all is well. Episode 5. Today we're going to be talking to Anthony Tomassi of Nina's Cucina Mobile there in Florida. And he's got a great story to share, and I can't wait to talk to him in a few minutes. Just a quick reminder, you can find the podcast on iTunes, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Just subscribe, Fredi the Pizza Man. That's Fredi, the Pizza Man. Also, next couple of weeks, we're going to be joined by Pete Carbonaro there in Florida. Best New York pizza there in Florida. And just around Labor Day, I don't know if it's going to be before Labor Day, give or take a day or two. We're going to be doing a 2019 Detroit Lions review, or preview, whatever. Lions preview, review, whatever. Matt Derry and Logan Lamorandier, two friends of mine, two guys that cover the Lions very well. You know Matt Derry, Locked On Lions there, and Logan Lamorandier, LionLowdown.com. So we definitely got to talk a little Lions. I know the podcast is about pizza, but I did say I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of sports, and the Lions are always a hot button around here, and I got some thoughts about the Lions going into 2019. It's a big year for them, but we say that every year, don't we? So, again, in a few minutes, Anthony Tomassi will be joining us, and we'll be talking to him about pizza and his love for Philly sports. I know he texted me the other day. He said, "Did you see that big win at the end of the night?" And I wasn't sure what he was talking about, and I had just called it this morning. I think he was talking about the Bryce Harper grand slam to win the game for them. So obviously he's a big Phillies fan. So stay tuned for a quick word, and on the other side we'll be joined by Anthony.
If you or your family is touched by autism, learn more about Fredi's Foundation at #PopTheTap at FrediThePizzaMan.com. That's Fredi, thepizzaman.com, or email FrediThePizzaman@gmail.com.
All right, guys, welcome back into Inside the Pizza Oven with Fredi the Pizza Man. As promised, we're going to be talking pizza with a guy born in Brooklyn, raised in Philly, now is in Florida making some great pies, brick and mortar. Now he's doing it mobile. I think he was doing it both at the same time. We're going to talk to him about that. And he's been making pizza 32 years, so I love to talk to guys like this. Tony Tomassi. What's up, Tony?
Not much. How you doing, Fredi? Good morning.
Good morning, my man. We talked before the podcast started that we're both just getting up, and we make pizzas all night and we get up early.
That's it. It's a Friday night regime. That's our Friday night lights.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just said, here's a guy making pizza for 32 years, and you're a young guy, 44 years old, born in Brooklyn, then Philly, now Florida. Let's talk about Brooklyn a little bit, because obviously, Brooklyn, everyone knows pizza, Brooklyn. How were your days in Brooklyn?
My days in Brooklyn were limited. Actually, reason we ended up in Brooklyn is that my dad and my uncle, we were all in Italy, and then they came over here with my grandfather, and they were just starting to set up shop and get things going so that we can come over here once things were stabilized. So my mom came over. She had me here at Long Island College Community Hospital, and then we went back to Italy, came back, had my brother, went back to Italy, and then once we settled into the Pennsylvania, Philadelphia area, then we moved over and stayed permanently. I was about 5 years old, almost 6 years old, started school and everything else. But with Brooklyn, I've always gone up, being in Philly and being down here. My mom was like, "You remember this? You remember this?" Mom, I was an infant. I don't remember any of this stuff. But yeah, sure you do. You were three. I was like, okay, I was 3. I believe you. But nonetheless, I love it up there. That's pretty much, they say it's the backbone of the pizza industry and the pizza history. So
you've been around, man. You've been, Brooklyn, Italy, Philly, Florida. You've been around. Anywhere else you've been that we don't know about?
But I've made pizza in, no. But I've traveled, and everywhere I traveled to, my parents, they weren't military, so we did move around a good bit to go here and there and stuff and try things there. Just recently, I've been out to North Carolina. Just this year, North Carolina, and had pizza. My daughter and son-in-law are in the military, and they were out in San Antonio. When I was out in San Antonio, I got to stop by, the talk shop with Derek Sanchez over there at his place, meet his family and everything else, and then just tried a couple places in North Carolina. Actually, this week I was a no twice this year. My second grandson was just born actually this week.
Okay.
On the 14th. So
congratulations.
Yeah, everywhere I go, I want to try pizza. I want to try what they're doing, see what's going on. Kind of like just see what if I'm keeping up to them, if they're keeping up to me, if we're all on the same page and everything else.
Well, I'm telling you, I follow you, and by the way, this Tony is owner of Nina Cucina Mobile there in Florida. Where exactly in Florida? What city? Or you're all over the place, right? With the mobile.
Yeah, I'm over. Yeah, like my thing is that I have pizza oven, will travel kind of things, but I am on it's called the Nature Coast of Florida. I'm in Hernando County, Spring Hill area, and it's northwest of Tampa. Beautiful area.
Well, let me ask you: do you roll that pizza oven over there on South Beach, where where all the honeys are?
Yeah, believe me. They say all you need is a pup, maybe to go go somewhere and get attention. Sometimes all you need is pizza. You go full oven, like yes.
Absolutely, and we're going to be talking about Nina's Cucina Mobile for sure in a few minutes, and we definitely got to talk a little Philly sports. I got a couple big Philly fans here. One is Nepa Pizza Review. He's a big Philly fan, and Eagles, and a buddy of mine here. And I brought it up at the beginning of the podcast, the intro. You had texted me, say, hey, did you see what happened the other night? I think I caught what you were talking about, Bryce Harper's grand slam.
Oh my God, yeah, it was insane. We went into the ninth. We were losing 5-1, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be great just to come back? And I was driving back from North Carolina. I just had it on my lap, and I'm just seeing 5-2, 5-3, and I can't really watch it. And I'm like, wow, it would be so great if we had a grand slam right now. All of a sudden, the score just goes 7-5, and I was like, holy crap, what's going on? I text my son, goes, what's going on? He's like, Bryce Harper walk-off home run, second level. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Hey, good for
him, man.
You got to be kidding me. Good for him. I was advocating for the Tigers to sign him, even though our Tigers suck. But I thought he would kind of bring some buzz to the city and maybe sell some more. Well, obviously would sell more tickets and bring some buzz to the city. But the Tigers cheaped out, and good for Philly. And we're going to talk a little bit more Philly sports and rapid fire. I want to talk about your mobile, your business. Before we get to the Florida, how about your time in Philly? Tell the listeners about your time in Philly.
Well, we go. I spent majority of my life over there, South Jersey, and in the Philadelphia area over there. And what started me with pizza, I grew up and stuff. Soon, in the business, my uncle had a pizzeria in the mall we all grew up in, and it was Scotto Pizza. I don't know if a lot of people, I don't know how far west they expanded, but Scotto Pizza started big. We're in the malls. There were always competitors at Villa Pizza and things like that. And as soon as I could put an apron on and a towel in my hand, I was doing stuff. And then one day at 12 years old, when I was like, stop taking orders, I need you to make pizza. I'm like, what? Just make pizza. And they say, like, you've seen it enough, you know how to do it. It's not really the case. You really got to be doing it with your hands to make pizza. And, gradually just got better. And I stayed with them, like, what my family knew and taught me for many, many years. And then a good friend of mine, he went to culinary school in Pittsburgh, and then at 19, and then when we were like 21 years old, he came back finished, and then shortly after that, he opened up a nice restaurant, and then I went to work with him, and he started teaching me all the stuff from culinary school that he learned, and we do pizza like this. I'm like, really? I'm like, we're going from like frozen chopped spinach kind of thing to organic baby spinach and fresh chicken. Everything was just fresh, like I want to say almost farm to table. And it just opened up my mind. So it was like all the techniques that I learned from my family, and now all this new strategy and topping stuff like that. His name is Nick Foles. He owns Savannah Bistro in Unionville, Kennett Square area. What he was teaching me, I was like, this is awesome. This is mind blowing. It's like a whole new level and stuff. And that was back in '98. So now everything's coming, and he's still open now. I just celebrated 20 years, but just doing what he does. And now it was almost like the stepping stone then to start coming up and to start doing different things and new, fresher things instead of just a cookie-cutter pizzeria thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just made pizzas there all the time. Moved out of Philly area at the age of, I think I was 26. It was 2000 down here to Florida. And I did it a couple times here and there, and I really didn't start getting back into pizza again here until 2010. No, I'm sorry, 2007. And I was trying to just stay out of, try to be more family-oriented life with corporate business. And I was like, this is not me. So I was like, they pulled me back in. And just when you think you have, they pulled you back in kind of thing.
Absolutely.
And just...
No, go ahead.
I've been going that way with it. So I like it. People always like, I've never had pizza like this before here. And I was like, it's just, I bring the North to you. You want to have something different. Everyone just tries to stay the same. It's like not too many people around here. And I try, when I hear someone has something different from what I'm doing, I want to go to them and try it. Like, oh yeah, this is great. No matter how far it is, because I like that. I want something different. I don't want the norm myself. As a pizza guy, I eat pizza every day, every day. Whether it's mine or someone else's, whether it's good or bad, I'm going to try it out.
Sounds like me. Pizza every day.
Mm-hmm.
You brought up something at the beginning. Basically, just to kind of paraphrase you, pizza makers, it's kind of a lost art. I mean, think about it. We've been making pizza for a long time, and I'm thinking 10, 15 years. It's going to be hard to find people that can even stretch dough or even make dough. I mean, it really is kind of a lost art. Unless you're in a family, these kids have no idea how to even stretch a piece of dough unless they're using a piece of machinery.
Yeah, it is. It's a lost art. It's almost like a folk profession now, but people still they just do it because they have to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just bringing up a pizza press like that. One of the guys I know through the pizza family, Carmine Tester with Carmine's Pizza Factory up in Jersey. He just went out and bought a pizza press because he has the same thing I fell into. He has a hard time finding help. I can do this. I worked at CC's, kind of thing. It's like, it's not the same. Like, you really need to want to do this career, this job. This job requires passion and dedication to want to do it, not because you have to do it or you have nowhere else you can go to work. You got to want to do it.
Yeah, I saw
That's
that.
What it is.
I saw that post of him posting that press, and if a guy comes and asks for a job to make pizzas, he ain't filling out no application. He's going to actually make a pizza. That's the application. Make a pizza, stretch it out, dress it, and put it in the oven and cook it. That's your application, right?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. I knew a guy once that said, fill the oven before the first, all with pepperoni, okay, 6 pizzas before the first one needs to be turned, okay, and you get the job. That was the way he hired people.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the way. Absolutely. That's the way you should do it. Joining me on Inside the Pizza Oven, Tony Tomassi there at Nina's Cucina Mobile in Florida. Let's talk Nina's Cucina. Now, I know you told me your name is the name of the restaurant is named after your daughter, right?
Yeah, her nickname's Nina. She's named after my grandmother, Maria Antonina.
Okay.
So yeah, Nina. So it kind of goes like people steer closer sometimes, I think, to a female name. But I wanted to name it after her. It was cute. She was the youngest one at the time, and she was born in 2010, and we established Nina's Cucina just shortly at the end of 2010, opened up in 2011 as our brick and mortar. Hey, stop it! And from there on, just been working. She's actually taken a very good license and passion to pizza and going out and trying things and everything else, and she loves it. She actually this year is going to be her first trip. We're going to take her to the Pizza Expo over in Atlantic City.
Okay.
I can see that too. So we're going to take her up there, and she's familiar with a lot of the people that I follow on social media and stuff like that. She's met a few of them, so she's at 9 years old. She's excited. It's like a Comic-Con for her.
Oh, I get it.
It's a Comic-Con for me. When I walk in there, my eyes light up. It's shiny equipment and food.
Oh no, I totally get it. I mean, I got 2 young daughters too. I got a 9-year-old and just like you, and a 5-year-old, and they can be a pain in the butt, girls, and but they also they seem to like it a little bit, but it's too early, and I definitely don't want them working the hours I work, and I'm sure you don't want the same thing either. But
definitely not. At that point, it's going to be more of a different kind of level. I mean, pizza making's changed as we grow up. I mean, pizza making, as we talked about, it all started when I was growing up and everything. I was like, oh, you're a pizza maker? Kind of thing. I was like, yeah, I make pizza. How do you think your Friday nights begin? With me. And they end with me.
Yeah.
Any night.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, he makes pizza. Everyone, it's the new celebrity chef profession, I think. Because it's pretty cool. Everyone's like, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Oh, yeah, sure, whatever. You do whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
thing.
Yeah, I've been making pizza since '81, man. I mean, literally every day since 1981, and think about how much it's evolved. Obviously, a lot of it because of social media and stuff like that. But it's. I mean, pizza was. It ain't like it is now. I mean, it's just completely different. You can describe it many different ways, but it's so open. It's out there, and it's all over social media. People just sharing and resharing and just talking about it, and it is kind of overload sometimes, but
just the global passion for it too. It's going into different countries, all over the place, and they're not just doing it in a commercial sense. They're doing it like in a small shop gourmet sense too. Like they just want to be. Everyone wants to do what everyone wants to do. They just sharing the love, sharing the passion.
Yeah, I got with my pizzeria here, Ford Motor headquarters is like a few minutes from me, so I get a lot of the white collar guys that come in here, and a lot of them get transferred to China for a couple years or Dubai, and they tell me there's pizza all over there, man. Even the chains, Pizza Hut and Domino's, and just there's a lot of pizza, and you would never expect that. So I'm assuming probably the last 5-10 years the buzz has been out, and people are just eating pizza. I mean, people are just eating pizza with a lot of vegetables and all the unique stuff. That's kind of where it's really evolved, is the unique toppings when it comes to pizza. Before it was just cheese, pepperoni, mushroom, and that. Agree?
Yeah, it was just like I said, the cookie cutter pizzeria toppings, and now it's just gone. I mean, when we started doing this, when I mentioned with Nick at Savannah View Show, it was like, the onion and marinated artichokes with all kinds of different cheeses. And I was like, this is crazy. To me, I'm like, who's going to buy this back then? And they did. They all wanted to try it. They're like, cool. And now it's a vehicle for a topping. It's pizza's just a platform. What you put on top of it is what makes it.
Yeah, Picasso. So let's talk Nina's Cucina Mobile there in Florida.
Okay.
If I gather this right, did you start a brick and mortar in 2010 and decide to go mobile? How'd you do that?
Yes. Well, we did the brick and mortar, and we started off as in a small single unit store, and then we expanded to having 2 units next to each other. And it was a sit down casual restaurant. We offered pizza. It wasn't more forte around pizza, but we had a dinner special all the time because we're down here in Florida. And then I had pizza on the menu. In 2015, I had the chance to purchase a pizzeria that was next door to me in the next shopping center, literally 90 feet away from me in the next little strip. So I bought that, and then my son, myself, and my cousin went to work over there, and then I had an opportunity to sell it and make some money 4 months later after I bought it, and I did it. And I was like, well, I still want to make pizza. So I found this oven online, and I drove over to the East Coast.
Tony, hold up. Let me ask you. You had 2 pizzerias next to each other? I
had a restaurant in one shopping center on the same street.
I got you.
And then the next shopping center just next door to me was a pizzeria.
Gotcha.
They basically emphasize on pizza. So at the same time, literally, you can see me from across the street between the shopping center. For 4 months, you can see me run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It was like, what the hell is he doing? So
not bad plan.
Anyway, yeah. So then when I got rid of that, I said, I still want to continue to do pizza. I've had fun the last 4 months making pizza, besides just cooking entrees and stuff and some pizza. Now I just want to do pizza, just strictly pizza again. So I found this mobile pizza oven. It was on the East Coast, and so I drove over there. A friend of mine and we started this. We bought the oven together, and we got this oven. We started doing it. So we're doing farmers market. We picked up breweries and wineries and events, stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I could just do this, and then the restaurant could operate by itself. And I did that for a couple of years, and then it started to be like, okay, well, people are now not showing up to work at the restaurant, and I need the restaurant's my bread and butter. So now I was starting to fear that, I don't want to start canceling on people because I can't be at work, because I can't do this because I got to be at work, and then a reputation's going to be around that this guy doesn't show up. So I started to slowly diminish, and then my passion was for the pizza, and I started to slowly diminish the restaurant as my lease came closer. So I downsized from 2 sides to 1 size, and then when my lease came up, I just said I'm just going to stick strictly to mobile, and so I did the combination of the two for about 3 years, and then May 2018, my lease expired. We cleaned up shop. I just built another trailer, and so I have the pizza going. I have a couple other different entity food trailers going with the contents of the restaurant I put together and built. So we're just doing mobile now, catering and mobile.
I've always been fascinated with the mobile side of the business, and I've always been brick and mortar. And for me, I own my building. I got no rent, no payment, so it's hard for me to make that jump. And but I've always been fascinated with it. And what do you tell people out there listening between brick and mortar? Is it simply the fact that you're just driving around, you're never in the same spot?
There's some places that do have a stationary location, and myself, I don't have one spot. Every night I'm at a different location. I go about an hour to about an hour and a half out to from where I live to go to do some work sometimes, and it's great. You get to bring in the excitement. People are like, oh, you're back. So it's never people could take advantage of it. Okay, well, I'm not going to go tonight. He'll be there tomorrow kind of thing. So when you go somewhere, they're going to come out and want the pizza. They look forward to seeing you. They follow you around, which is great with social media because you can reach out to them without having to be in one spot. Before it used to be like a location, which is still a good key now. But now it's just advertising and product. You could be behind an industrial park, but if you advertise, have a good product, and they follow you, they'll come looking for you.
Before I forget, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
It's Nina's Cucina on Facebook, and on Instagram, it's Nina's Cucina. So you can find us. Again, been in business with this establishment since 2011, beginning of 2011, and just going strong.
See, now that sounds like the fun part to me. I mean, literally driving the trailer around and going to different spots. I mean, you could be parked in front of 3 trees and just staring at the tree instead of staring at a counter all day long. Just and people walking up to your trailer, and that's got to be really neat.
It is. The whole dream and thought of it in the beginning, back before I did that, was like, wouldn't it be great to go down and just look at the beach?
Yeah.
And I've never got that opportunity to go down and look at the beach, but I have had the opportunity to go. And I was hired at the catering. I was right in the Gulf of Mexico. John did a movie night, and he's right there on the coast. And I got to make pizza and literally watch the sun coast at the edge of the Gulf of Mexico. I was like, and I'm saying to myself, this is it. This is awesome. I don't have 4 walls around. It's like I'm out of the cubicle of the office building. I'm out. I'm doing pizzas, and it's great.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
If you can break away from the brick and mortar and have the opportunity to do it without, you have a strong commitment to your building and everything else because you have a lot more invested in it. But with me, I wasn't tied in. It was just a signature and a lease. So I was like, I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to do it for me. That way the reliability falls solely on me.
Yeah, it. I totally get it. Listen, I go back early, late 80s, early 90s, my first landlord. The one time I rented, and me and him almost got into a fist fight in the alley. I mean, he was just that much of a jerk. And I said to myself that day, I'll never ever rent again, or I'll never be in the business. There's no way I'm going to get in this position again, because you really are at the mercy sometimes of the landlord if you got a bad one, So
you do,
yeah.
And they act like the sheep in the front and the end of the wolf. Still, sure, do whatever you want to the building, because in the long run, it's theirs. When you move, it's theirs. So they're just like, yeah, no problem, go right ahead.
Yeah, I remember the time I got in an argument with him. It was the time Goodfellas came out, and they stuck the mailman in the oven. I thought, man, how about the landlord in the oven? That'd be kind of neat.
Yeah, I said that a lot with my mobile oven. I said, I could just put you in here and drive off, and you could cook as I'm leaving. It's not even. Where did he go? No clue.
So before we get to rapid fire and end the podcast, I want to know a couple more things about the mobile, which kind of fascinates me.
Sure.
2 things. I want to know a little bit about your oven, but before you tell me about the oven, because you make some really beautiful pies, man. I've seen them coming out on the Instagram. Really beautiful pies, man. I want to know about the oven, but where are you preparing your stuff, your dough and all that? How are you doing that?
We have a commissary that we have to. You still have to have a commissary when you're mobile like that, unless you have an enclosed trailer. Because since I'm open, I can't do anything prep anywhere else. But if with how that falls, if you have a commissary with an actual trailer, you can do your preparations within the trailer. If I have a cart, mine's open, and I prepare a 10 by 10 tent around it and the table. So I have to literally a pop-up pizza shop. So I have to do that every time I go out, set it up, break it down. Well, in that case, you have to have a commissary where you go and you prepare your sauce, you store your items, and you make your dough.
Okay.
And then when you travel out, make sure you have the proper refrigeration. Anything you would have to have within the restaurant or the pizzeria you work in, you have to have clean water, soap, sanitizer, utensils, paper towels, everything like that. Just have the same way.
Now, I'm not going to ask you what you put in your pizza sauce and all that stuff. Well, how are you making your sauce? Is there a special?
My sauce, I use strictly stainless sauce, Ultra Cucina, and that's it. Just grind it. Just go through a mulling mill, grind it down, and just put our,
That's what I'm using. Using
basically,
the same thing.
Yeah, that's it. I grew up again just using. I was using 6-in-1 in Bonto, or I was using Separator, 7-Eleven, stuff like that. I was like, nah, I don't think I want to put any, water or paste in there. I just want to use strictly like a nice tomato, and I just put that in there.
Yeah. Actually, I was going to ask you if you ever put any paste in there, but the tomato you described.
I did growing up.
I
did growing up on my own. I have not.
Yeah.
When I worked for other people, that's what they wanted. That's sure. That's no problem. That's what you want. And then
that's an old school way.
Just a wholesome.
That's an old school way.
It is.
Yeah. That's an old school.
But it gives that sauce gives it the characteristic taste, like the smell and stuff like that. Some places, Mark Iacono on the TV show, he has really dope. He says a pizza place should punch you in the face. The smell when you walk into it, you should smell it. And I remember that sauce, the pizza, the taste and everything else. It has a distinctive taste to it and smell when you cook it. But,
I know that's what my customers love about my place here, because you got 4 seasons. Obviously, that in Philadelphia. But when you walk in here, like October, November, or maybe March, when I don't have the fans on, the exhaust fans, and you smell that sauce cooking and all that.
Yep.
You walk in here, it's incredible. It's the best time. In the summer, forget it, because all the exhaust fans are cranking high, trying to get the heat out of here. But you can still smell.
Imagine. I see your pictures too. I can imagine what it smells like in there. You can almost smell the pizza. Some of the pictures you see, it's like, oh yeah, just look at that.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about that oven, man. That oven's sweet.
The oven is pretty unique. I haven't seen one yet out there, and I get a lot of questions about it. It's called a Solo Vengo 3000, and it was manufactured out of Pittsburgh. And I've actually had a hard time contacting the people. I needed a couple of replacement parts here and there, but it's all stainless steel. It's got a 36-inch diameter oven on the inside. Got storage, and I do 12-inch pizzas. Especially you're supposed to do 10. I do a 12-inch pizza, so it's a lot of tricky rotation. You know that even with a deck oven, you have to know where the pizza was last in order to not put it there again. So I go from left to right to middle, back to left, right, and middle. That way I can put the 3 in there all the time. And it's there's no gas assist on this thing, so everything's strictly up top. So what I do is I travel around with a 17-inch portable gas flat top, like a griddle. So if the bottom's dying off, I just take it out, I throw it right on that griddle, and it crisps the bottom up, and it goes. Because sometimes, I'm cranking out 45 pizzas an hour with this oven, with a 36-inch oven inside of it. But,
that's a lot.
And then the top, we have some drop-in wells on the top. The front has 2 doors. The side has which is a really unique design. The side of it, on the oven side, has a water tank that holds the water, and it heats up from the oven. And then on the side of it has a little water spigot, so you can wash your hands and stuff like that. But it's really cool. It's really nice. Right now I'm traveling without. It comes with a little canopy on top of it. But right now I'm traveling around without the canopy because a bad windstorm ripped it apart. So I just left it off there, and I like it. It's made its money back for me tenfold easily.
Yeah, there's
within the first 2 years.
Guys that don't make pizza. There's a lot of people out there still use the screens, but that don't use the screens, and nothing like putting a piece of cold dough on your stone and that thing just getting cold. And I know with me, my customers, man, they come in here. If they hear me dropping the F word, man, there could be 50 people in here. I'll be dropping the F word. They know. Oh, the stone must be cold. Freddie's pissed.
Yeah, and it is. And that's a good and great customer. I have to say, in a sense, but they come in and they see you like that. They know you're not like that. It's just an industry frustration.
Yep.
and they got to know what it is. If they've been coming there that long, they know exactly, and that loyal to you, they know what it is. That's great, because it is fun. It could perfect dough in a hot oven all night. You'll smile all night long from beginning to end, from the first ticket to the last ticket. But if you start getting blown up dough or not risen dough and a cold deck, it's like, this is going to be a miserable night.
Yeah. All right, joining me here on Inside the Pizza Oven, Tony Tomassi. You can find him on Facebook. I think it's Anthony Tomassi, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it goes on
Tomassi, yeah.
Anthony. I told you I got some cousins through marriage with the last name Tomassi, and they're in the cement business. We're in the pizza business. They're in the cement business.
Yeah, we have pizza. We have people in the cement business myself, so I was kind of curious. I'm like, well, this guy's related some way or another.
Yeah, we could be. But
we all are in one way or another.
Absolutely.
By pizza.
And check them out on Nina's Cucina Mobile on Instagram and Facebook, correct?
Yep, Nina's Cucina Wood Fire Pizza and just Nina's Cucina on Facebook. And then just check us out. If you need to hire us in the area, just let us know. Shoot us an email or a message, and we'll get back to you.
What's your email address?
Actually, just you go through the Facebook page.
Gotcha.
So just go through Messenger there.
Perfect. All right, let's end it with a little rapid fire. Okay, some just a quick question. Just give me a quick answer. So definitely we got to start because you're a Philly guy. Rocky 1, 2, or 3?
1.
What's the difference? I mean, I don't want to knock people in Florida. How do people in Florida accept pizza from the north?
Everyone in Florida thinks they know pizza. That's the funny thing. You never get up north. You don't get, oh, I'm from here. I had this pizza. I'm from here. I had this pizza. Because it is a transy state where people transplant from here. Everyone here seems to know pizza, and I'm like, okay, I kind of have to listen and torture my ears for listening at times. But up north, nobody knows pizza. No one tells you I know pizza. I'm this. I'm that. But here, that's everyone knows pizza. I'm from here. I moved here from here to have pizza. I said, okay, just have my pizza. That's all I ask you. Well, I don't say I'm the best. You can tell me if I am or not.
Well,
what you've had.
You know why? Because everyone in Florida is not from Florida. They're from everywhere.
They're from everywhere. Like I said, they're transplants. They just come here. They move here. They retire here. They come to die here. Whatever the case may be. They all have an opinion. So, okay, just have the pizza. All I ask them is just try the pizza. It's different from anything you've had. And they'll tell me, this is different than anything I've had. And I'm like, thank you. That's all I want you to do is try the pizza.
That's it. Now, you get one chance, and you can only pick one. You get to sit at the Super Bowl and watch the Philadelphia Eagles or Game 7 of the World Series and your Phillies are playing.
Philadelphia Eagles.
Philadelphia Eagles. And God bless you. You got your Super Bowl. We're still waiting for one over here.
Yeah, it was bittersweet. It was nice. It was really nice.
So, you being 44 years old, who's your favorite Philadelphia Eagles of all time? You can give me a top 3 if you want.
Brian Dawkins and Brett Selleck.
Hall of Famer. You got 2 of them? Dawkins and Selleck?
Yeah, Dawkins and Selleck.
Yeah, Selleck was a good player. When I say Terrell Owens, what comes to your mind?
Terrell Owens. Obnoxious, cocky, but everything to back it why he is.
I thought you were going to say weightlifting in the driveway. Remember that?
No, I didn't see him do that.
You go ahead. You were going to say something.
I do remember him being punked one time and watching him be punked, and he just I'm a fine-tuned athletic machine. That's all he kept saying the whole time.
Yeah.
They wanted his help, and I was just laughing because that's his personality.
Donavan McNabb or Nick Foles?
Donovan McNabb, because he's the 10 years that he did play, he did put the Eagles with Andy Reid back on the radar with being a competitive team and everything else, and a consistent team. Nick Foles did a great job. He followed the regime and everything else. He came through. I remember the first day Nick Foles came on the field for the Eagles when Michael Vick went out, and it was a mess. We're like, what the hell? There it goes. And he did okay. He left and he came back, and he did great. Sometimes it takes some maturing and some difference in, coaching to become. And I wish him luck. He's here in the Jaguars now. He's here in Florida, and it was great to see that reunion for them the other night between Wentz and the other teammates and himself. But I wish him the best. I mean, he's always going to be an Eagle. That's it. Hopefully, he retires an Eagle too.
That's my prediction is the Jaguars-Eagles Super Bowl this year, Wentz versus Foles.
That'd be great. That would be.
Wouldn't that be sweet?
Yeah, that would be sweet. That was actually the one year I was hoping for a Steelers-Eagles, so East Coast, West Coast, so Pennsylvania kind of a Super Bowl. That would have been nice to see that too.
What do you think of Carson Wentz? I mean, he was ready to win the MVP a couple years ago.
Yeah, Carson, I still believe he should have won MVP because he had better stats in the 13 games that he did play versus anyone that played the full season. But I like Carson Wentz. He brings an old school feel like the Joe Montana, Troy Aikman, what do you call it, John Elway kind of feel. Yeah, that kind of feel. That nice. He's not a showboat kind of guy. He's very religious, and he wants to tell people that you don't have to be all this nice cars and boats and everything else all the time, but have a faith, believe in your faith, and just believe in what you do. And he's a good mentor too, because if he's not on the field, he's not angry. He's not sitting there like I should be playing. That's not what I do. He helps everybody, even like what he did with Nick Foles. He mentored him, and he helped them. They consoled and they confided in each other and advised each other on what to do. And I think he's great for that. He's really good. Because of his faith and everything else, it makes him a better teammate and a better player.
So he's the opposite of Terrell Owens.
The complete opposite. The complete opposite.
Last question. Andy Reid or Doug Peterson?
Andy Reid. Andy Reid is Doug Peterson, that's where he learned a lot of stuff from Andy Reid.
He's surprised Andy Reid still hasn't won the big one. I mean, think about Kansas.
I'm very surprised.
Think about Kansas City. How I was hoping the Lions would have hired him, and I thought he was going to take a year off, and obviously Kansas City hired him, and they had a great year last year, man. Great year.
Amazing year. I was so happy. I was like, yes, if we don't win it, if literally every year, if we don't go to the Super Bowl, I live in a house. I'm living in a mixed sports house. Just real quick, I'm an Eagles Phillies fan. My wife is a Giants Mets fan.
Wow.
So I never root for the Giants. So even with that, that's my secondary rooting team is the Chiefs, only because of Andy Reid.
Yeah, he's a great coach, man.
He is a great coach. And when we got Doug Peterson, we're like, I was like, yes, we're getting Doug Peterson over here. When we got Doug Peterson, and we had LeGarrette Blount.
Yeah, LeGarrette Blount
over,
yeah.
and then we got Chris Long in there. I was like, this is great. We're getting two offense and defensive side of the Patriots, and we're getting someone that was being coached from Andy Reid over to us. I was like, we're going to win the Super Bowl. This is great.
Andy Reid is he's a quarterback whisperer, man. I'll tell you, when we look back in history one day, there might not be a better coach or head coach out there that can develop quarterbacks like Andy Reid.
Yeah, true enough. Did you see the old videos of Andy Reid and playing football as a kid?
I might have saw him, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
He's a full grown man. Dude, he was a beast. You got to look it up. You'd laugh.
Yeah, I think
you won't miss him too. You'll know exactly who he is.
I think I know who you're talking about. And then Kansas City, we'll see what they do this year with Patrick Mahomes. That'll be interesting.
Yeah, he did a great job last year. I always root for the rookies.
I know our Detroit Lions. We have Kansas City and Philadelphia back to back this week. Like week 2, week 3. God bless us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to those games. I'm looking forward to every game. It's going to be a questionable season the way we're going through quarterbacks right now because we have a questionable Carson Wentz. We have 2 injured second and thirds, and now we have our 4th string out there. So we'll see what happens. We have 2 weeks before the first game. So
yeah, we'll definitely see what happens. Tony, listen, what a pleasure talking to you, man. You're killing it there in Florida.
Thank you very much.
Nina's Cucina Woodfire on Facebook and Instagram. Check him out. He's a great follow. Tony, thanks for a few minutes, and talk to you soon. Okay.
All right. God bless. Take care, buddy.
You too, brother. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
No, that was fun, man. Tony's a great guy. I knew he'd be a great interview. So check them out. Check him out. They're all over Florida, and get a hold of him if you're looking for a party or anything like that. Just give him a buzz, Facebook and Instagram. So just a quick reminder, next couple weeks, we're going to be talking to Pete Carbonaro, and we're going to be doing a 2019 Detroit Lions preview. Me, Matt Derry, Logan Lamar-Randier. That'll be coming out maybe a few days before Labor Day or right around Labor Day or maybe Labor Day weekend. Right around there. So check that out. Subscribe to the podcast Inside the Pizza Oven with Fredi the Pizza Man, iTunes, YouTube, and iHeartRadio.